Welcome back to another edition of See, because the audio started recording and the video wanted me to confirm that I had started recording, but I already was talking. So
That's a little counterproductive, but
that's
okay.
what you're doing the most. I clicked the button already. I knew what I did.
It's like, are you sure?
Yes. Are you doubly sure?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're back with another episode of Family Reels. And who picked this one? Mom, you picked it?
It was I. It was
Was
I.
you indeed.
Was me
So
indeed.
tell us a little bit by why you chose this one.
Why I chose it? Well, I was trying to meet the criteria of, the whole interracial romantic lead. Did we say comedy? I don't know.
It was
But
just a romantic comedy with an interracial
right.
lead.
Yeah. So, that was, and this is one I hadn't seen. So I was like, I'm gonna go out on a limb and it's not the average, it's usually, black and white or, something close to white. And I guess I don't know how do I say that. I guess Mexican isn't close to white.
Well,
But
so far, I would say so far none of the ones that we've done have been black and white.
True. The last one was Latino, and
Hits. That's right.
So far, nothing we've done has been black and white.
That's true.
Which is exactly what I thought of this challenge, that we'd get that, but everyone showed up.
Yeah.
Everyone showed up for Black History Month. I appreciate it.
Right. We have it's interracial, but yet still color.
Yeah, it works. I'm with it. I'm with it 100%.
Yeah. All right.
So now that we've got that out the way.
Okay, a little extra, but this story is basically about a couple who end up going on a really unexpected, crazy, scary adventure and make it through it, I guess, somehow. So that's my synopsis.
I mean, that's a fair enough synopsis of what
I would say.
It's not wrong by any stretch of the imagination.
All right.
And so this is The Lovebirds, starring Issa Rae and Kumail Nanjiani. I'm pretty sure I got that right. I practiced.
It's not just me until we hear otherwise.
Yeah.
So where are we starting?
Well, we got to start at the beginning, right?
Well, that's it's weird. The beginning, we're meeting them after they're introduced, in a way. It's like they met each other, and I don't know if they went on a date or what happened, and then
it looked like they had a one-night stand.
And that's what it is too, because they kind of talk about it during this whole thing, after the awkwardness of like, all right, saying goodbyes and let's go get breakfast, when they're walking through the park. Which, by the way, she has a 40 in her hand. Am I the only one who saw that? She has a brown bag and she's holding it by the handle. I don't know what it is, but that screams 40 to me. She had a 40 just walking.
I thought that was like her leftovers.
Why is she holding it like that? There's so many other ways.
I hold a brown bag like that sometimes. I mean,
you roll it up and you hold it like you have a handle. She was holding it like there was a bottle in it at the base. I'm telling you, she had a full-blown 40.
Okay,
I gotta go back and watch it.
I know, now I gotta see that.
Because they do mention, like, I guess he was working, or he was doing like a catering thing, and she was at the event, and he kept saying, I kept coming back to the table hoping you were there. Yeah, or maybe they were both at there and they weren't working.
I think they were just at the event.
Yeah, but so they just met each other that day.
Right. Well, that night before, something looked like that's the morning, and they on her front door or something like that. Yeah. And so they, kind of acting like, because this is not going anywhere. I don't really like you, all this stuff. And then they, that's when they get to the part about the, about how you look when you want to kiss somebody or whatever.
Oh, the I want to kiss you face.
The I want to kiss you face. Yeah.
It's so annoying.
Is there an "I want to kiss you" face?
There is 100%, and that's what makes it so annoying.
The whole thing was it shows them getting along over time or whatever, and then boom, we hit 4 years later, and it's them. They're living together and they're arguing.
Yeah, they talking and they're arguing about stupid stuff like
The Amazing Race.
They were arguing about The Amazing Race. And he was like saying it's dumb reality show stuff, and he's into documentary type stuff. So he was
she specifically, and this is what I hate when movies do this, because it only makes one person seem like the asshole and the other person retaliating, because he insults reality shows, which I mean he's not wrong, but also who cares at the end of the day,
right.
But she immediately talks about what he does. That's worse, right?
Yeah.
What you watch is like, oh, you watch something that I think is stupid. Okay, fine. Everybody says that. Everybody does that. That's fine.
Right.
But she was like, all you do is make reality shows, and he was like a documentary. She's like, well, nobody watches them and all that other stuff. And I was like, yo, you can't start.
I think when she said that, she was talking about the people around him not letting like her, like she just never thought to watch him or whatever because he didn't let her watch it.
Yeah, I think that's what I think. That's because of something later.
That he doesn't let her watch it, but
because he's not finished with it. I think he was talking about the one he was working on.
Stuff to do,
Yeah. So the point is, they're arguing about something absolutely stupid, which is usually, what happens when there's some underlying stuff, and then all the stupid stuff comes out. So they're just arguing, and they continue arguing, and they're going to the dinner party with their friends and everything, and they're on the way arguing until that ultimate moment when it's like that thing gets thrown out there, and he said something like, that's why I don't think we're meant to be together, something he said.
Well, yeah, because they were talking about it. She was like, because she says something like, I don't want to be with somebody. What he says something specific, but I don't remember what she said. She was like,
I know, I remember. I wrote it down.
Who doesn't want to be better in life or something like that.
He calls her shallow, basically. I don't want to be with somebody who's shallow, and because he's like saying, you just want me to look nice so we can take pictures and show them to people, and she's like, yeah, I want that or whatever. So, and then she was saying that he's okay with being a failure, basically.
She always says something worse.
She did hit back. She did
because what he was being a failure.
Because what he was saying in that scene, I remember it now, because he was talking about her, like her friend was getting married, and she has apparently, because we don't get this at all, said that she thinks marriage is stupid or whatever.
Right. Okay.
He was like, so why would you like that if you think marriage is stupid? Which is another like tidbitty thing to argue about.
But because you said, because he was like, we talked about this. We both agree marriage is BS, basically.
No. He didn't say he
didn't say
they both agree.
He just said he's been saying that the whole time.
I thought he said that.
No. Her thoughts, not his.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So she, that's what I'm saying. She hit way harder, and it hurt.
She did.
He said the generic thing like, oh, shallow because you care more about Instagram, which she does. Clearly, that's what it shows kind of at the beginning.
Right.
That she was like, I wish I didn't have my phone. It would be a relief. And then the phone rings, and she couldn't even like stop it for 5 seconds. Because he was like, ooh, somebody might have liked the picture. And she was like, oh, yeah, somebody, you're right. Somebody might have. So it's not like he was wrong.
No.
And he also made a very general statement, but then she cut deep, man.
Yeah.
That when she was like, I just don't want to be with somebody who's content with being a failure. I was like,
but
standards.
Yeah.
She's trying to get his attention, obviously.
Standards, though.
Men do not like to listen when you say things nicely the first 10 times.
But when we're talking about that specific thing, what is she saying? This is something he clearly enjoys. He talks about it, that he's an activist, that he enjoys trying to talk about these things.
Okay, because obviously it's not something that makes a lot of money. That's got to be besides that, what people see as success would mean what you gain from it, as opposed to all the other things you can gain from it.
It is kind of messed up, though.
Yeah, it was a messed up statement.
Even J.K. Rowling was homeless before Harry Potter took off.
On welfare. Yeah, I mean, what? Yeah, no, for sure. But so at the end of what she said, but he said that's why I don't want to be with someone. And then she said something, and he said, "Well, is this over or something?" She said, She said something like, "It's been over a long. I think it's been over a long time ago, or something like that."
Yeah,
because they both say like at the same time, "I can't do this anymore," and then that's when is this over? And she was like, "I think it's been over for a while."
Yeah.
And then they hit.
And I was like, and then you're in that moment, like, oh dang, they like straight breaking up, and then it's like, bam, they hit this guy,
this dude,
on the bike. Like, what the hell?
And he just they get out the car to try and dust him off. You okay or whatever? And he just gets up real quick and rushes off on his bike. And she's like, "You forgot your phone."
Yeah, and that's when I knew what this movie was going. That phone was like, all right, we're screwed here, buddy.
Yeah, he just left it, and then
it's ruined.
Yeah,
and then the other dude comes running. Another dude comes and he says he's the police and he needs their car, and he's like, move over or whatever, gets in, takes the car. So they think they're over there with this cop who's chasing this guy who they hit on the bike, and they're helping him find him.
I'm sorry, I'm not helping no dude with a mustache like that, like straight up and down. That dude looks like he does one of three things.
Sinister.
Yeah, he's either a crooked cop. He's either a crooked cop, he sexually assaults people, or he cuts people up in a basement. Like those are the three options.
Yeah, I don't believe it. Yeah, and especially when she said something, he turned around and looked at her, and he kept staring at her like.
Okay, they were trying to like joke about it, and they were trying to joke about it. He was like, "Okay, you're right. You're serious now."
And then they finally corner him.
Yeah,
after they help him locate him. And then they see him keep going, like, and they're like, and then he runs, he hits him. No, did he hit him? And then he rolls over him, and then he like
10 times.
Like, yeah.
The whole time, this part is so funny because they're just in the car, like,
yeah, like at that point, it's like, what do you do, right? Like everything just took a crazy turn for the worst.
Like they didn't think he was gonna do all that, like hit him and roll over him a few times.
This is that moment where they're like, I don't think he's a good guy.
Yeah, no, clearly, this guy.
They clearly regretted letting him in the car.
Oh my gosh,
100%. But yeah, so he gets out and he shoots him. So then they're like, we got to get up out of here. And before he hears sirens, and I never understood this part either, right? And movies do this all the time. Random sirens. All the time. Wherever that cop was going wasn't here. So where, you know what I mean? Like you don't really have a reason to.
Well, because you don't know, they're in this little alleyway. Somebody could have heard something, called the police, and they could have been there on their way over there.
Man, ain't no cop in the world that the response time that fast, except for Elf. Whatever reason, those cops were on time, man.
It happens.
It happens. But it just don't happen where you've seen.
I'm just saying.
You gotta live in certain areas.
I guess.
Where 911 ain't a joke.
This part kind of irritated me though, because then we get these two woke hipsters who are
oh my gosh, yes.
And they're like, oh my God, what did you do? And he was like, we didn't kill him. He was like, well, I hit him with the car. Like, you stop. They mumble a lot through this movie, and it's like, all right, that's enough.
He always says way too much.
Hey, that's a real thing.
Both of them do. They both are
they do.
ramblers.
That's a real thing, man, because I'm like that too.
I can believe that 100%.
I will keep going. I'm like, no, you see what happened? That wasn't even me. I was just sitting in the car.
I hit him, but I didn't like kill him. He was alive. That's what he kept saying. Like, he's alive after I hit him.
Oh man,
had blood on them, and then they just realized that these two, they're like, let's call the police.
and then her police call is the worst.
Yeah,
like the suspects. We have they just ran a man over with his car. She just happens to be African American. That's what she said. She just happens to be African American.
And he happens to be a person of color.
But I don't think they murdered anyone because they're people of color. I just think they murdered somebody because they murdered somebody. Like, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, that was a whole.
This hipster bullshit. Like, chill the fuck out. We get it. You're an ally.
It's like I'm not racist. I'm just trying to give a description. That's what she.
And then both of these idiots. She's like Jamil. He was like, oh, the man's name is Jamil. And
No, his name is Jabroni.
What? Jabroni.
Jabroni.
No,
Jabroni.
Oh, Jabron.
Jabron, I think.
Jabron.
Jabroni.
Oh, yeah, I remember because it sounds like LeBron. Sorry.
You said Jabroni. You wrote this The Rock? Like, come on.
Jabron. And then he was like, Leilani, run.
Oh, and her name is Layla. Like, oh, you
turn it sideways and stick it up his kid.
Are you still doing Rock impressions over there?
Oh my gosh. No, I had not heard that since The Rock. Like Jabroni. Who says that?
Sorry.
Jabron. Yes, Jabron. I got it spelled out. Jabron.
It's Jabron, yeah.
And then he says her name.
Yeah, they're both breaking rule number 1 here. Would you shut the hell up?
Right. Yeah. No, that was terrible.
So moving on to the next scene, they run off and go to a hospital. This guy still got the Jabron. He's got the jacket on or whatever, and still has blood from the biker on him.
Wait, did you go to a hospital?
No. They went straight to a restaurant.
Oh,
they went to a diner.
That's what I said. I thought I heard you say hospital. I was like,
no. They went to a diner.
Yeah, I know that.
There. That's when the police called them.
He was like, "Don't answer it," and then she answers it.
Oh no, wait. Yeah. Oh yeah. They did the detective call. No, first they get a call from their friends. Like, where are you? And it's so funny. They're all lying and stuff like that. They're just like, oh yeah, we're on our way or whatever or something, or we're talking to a friend. And it's so funny. The funniest part about this scene is in the background when they cut to their friend talking on the phone with them. Keith, the guy in the background, he was like, how do you know it's nice to meet me? What if I'm an asshole?
Yeah, because that was the whole thing. Because they were talking about Keith earlier. Because Keith is obviously a point of contention in this relationship. Because there are guys like that, and girls who play into it, and vice versa. But Keith is obviously a point of contention in this scene because he says he steals all his jokes. He's not that funny. And he's doing the
Katt Williams jokes in
Katt Williams jokes specifically, yeah. And that's him doing the exact same bit he said. He was like, "That's Katt Williams." Yeah, I know.
That was terrible.
That is terrible. People steal jokes.
Yeah. And then a detective called, and then she's asking, if they were okay or whatever, and where they were. And then she said, we're at home. And she said, oh, is your car missing? And then she's like, oh no, I don't think so. Let me go look. And then the waitress comes up and says something. And she's like, wait, are you at
the funniest part about that though? The funniest part about that is she does the explanation. She was like, is your car, have you drove in your car? She was like, no, it should be in the driveway.
Oh, yeah.
Literally, she goes through every motion. She fake looks out the window to fake look at her car.
That's the best way to make
I was like,
the best way to make it real.
That's the best acting she's ever done in her life.
Oh my gosh, get over it.
What? She's good in this movie. She's actually good in this movie.
Yeah, she can act.
But she wasn't good in that one with
with Lakeith Stanfield.
No, she wasn't good in that. It was boring. They were both bad in that.
I didn't see that. I liked Little. Did you watch that?
She was good. I didn't think she was good.
Little was funny.
I liked Little. I mean, she wasn't the main character.
She was just doing, background character shit. But
it was good.
I didn't think she was good in it. That's what I'm saying. I think she was just doing her boring reading thing that she does.
Anyway.
You're a hater.
You're a hater.
Okay, so they're talking seriously about what they're going to do now.
Dumps the phone in the milkshake.
Oh, yeah.
Talking.
She was going to keep talking. He's just like, nope.
So that's when they look at the phone, right? And they see try to see what's on there, and there was a notification. And that's when they found out that he was supposed to be going to some place.
No, that's not when they found out.
No.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, when they went to the little. What?
They go to the pier.
Oh.
He throws that jacket in.
Yeah.
They get the notification to meet I forgot who. Edie.
Yeah.
At this.
No, before. Oh
what?
yeah.
Come
no,
on.
You're
now.
right.
We got
You're
this.
right.
Stay with us.
You're right.
Hang in there, champ. We've got you.
Because they want to try to basically want to try to find out why this guy why
they
he
can
was
figure
killed.
out who. Yeah, they can clear their names, which is also this is a dumb
yeah
thing.
because right now they thinking they suspects.
It's so funny because it's almost like they're trapped inside a movie. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
because
no, I know.
They live in reality, but only in movies does shit like that happen. Where it's like, but it's always with some action guy. It's like Bruce Willis framed for murder, and it's like I gotta clear my name, but he can do that because apparently he's an ex-Navy
So
SEAL.
two amateurs go. It's like, well, obviously we got to try to clear our name before.
Like, no,
that's why he said she stopped from calling the police.
That's why even in that diner scene, because we kind of skipped over it when he was like, "We should turn ourselves in." She was like, "Okay, go ahead." She's like, "No, that's stupid." She's like, "I'm going to beat you." She's like, "This is me covering my body cam because I'm going to beat the shit out of her."
She did say
terrible, man. It is terrible.
She explained because she's black and you look like you have a murderous beard or whatever.
That's fucked up.
That's hilarious. That's actually true.
But she's also not 100% wrong because if they come in there talking that crazy, even though we find out later that miscommunication, but even though I get where she's coming from, but I also get where he's coming from because this isn't a movie. Like
it's like this is real life.
Dudes on First 48, they get shit done. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry. I would rather take my chances. I like say, like, look, obviously there has to be some other way you guys can figure out that it wasn't me. You know what I mean? I'm not about to just go on the run because now you look guilty-er.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now they're going to this place where they're going to meet Edie.
Dragon.
It's like a little club.
Then this one they get in the they get the lift. No, they're in the lift.
Oh, right here.
In the lift, and then all of a sudden the lift stops and it's like, this is not where we're at. And a whole other couple gets
at the shared ride setting.
Like, you got a lift share.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you this when I was in Vegas a couple years ago for my birthday, that lift share is a money saver.
Well, it definitely is. But then it's all awkward. You sit in a car. That happened to me and Jay before. You sit in the car with other people, and we were all like shoulder to shoulder in the back, and one person in front. And I was like, I'm so mad.
Be real. I don't even care at that point because
I hated it.
Money I saved because I'm in Vegas. You have like a few ways to get around. You can walk, which I'm not doing. You can drive your own vehicle, which is also not going to happen because that's a pain in the ass. Or you
ain't getting far.
Or before Lyft and stuff, you can take a cab, which is like way worse because the cab drivers screw you every time.
Yeah.
Because you don't know where you're going, so they take you every which way to
and that meter, while that meter's just ticking.
That's what Grandma used to tell me. She would
but
be
it
like,
was funny because the couple
take the bridge, not this way. I was like, all right,
because the couple that got in there, they were young and all extra gooey and obnoxious and love. I miss you already.
But it's funny because
I miss you when you didn't even leave.
She's getting all irritated and stuff because that's how they used to be. And this turns around, she just goes off on them. She's like, okay, we get it. You guys love each other. Like, she's like, it ends, okay? There's gonna be an end to this.
So that's why I didn't want to go over there because that was funny. She was like ready to go.
Because they were just being gross about it. Like I've seen lovey-dovey couples, but never. I don't think I've ever seen that couple.
I have, especially in high school.
Oh,
I don't know, man. I haven't even seen that in high school.
Like, I have seen that in high school. Even back when I was in high school.
You guys are around some gross people, man. That's all I can say about that. You
just weren't observant. We're girls.
I've seen that at one of my high schools, and one of the older teachers, she was just like, "No necking." Did you say necking? Yeah, she said necking. Then looked at her.
An old lady who remembers what necking is. Necking to the twist.
Necking.
This is the old thing to say.
I love
Get out of here. Get out of here, lady. So they get to this dragon's den. They're trying to figure out who this person is or whatever the case may be. And they throughout this whole movie, they have little arguments or little moments one of them was like, she was like, this looks like a fun place. And he's kind of like, I would never go here. And she says that thing like, we would never go anywhere if I didn't plan everything and that kind of stuff. Mom, you're making a face. What's the deal?
That sound.
What sound?
That sound is back.
Well, we can't hear it. I can't hear it.
That is so crazy, but I can. I'm gonna go and come back.
Going
because it's fine. You're fine. It's gonna go away.
It's not fine for me.
It's gonna go away.
You heard? You know how it sounds? Don't talk, please. It sounds like, remember that part on Dick Fun with Dick and Jane, and how this sounds exactly like that, but more distorted, and it's driving me nuts.
It's gonna go away. Just like it did last time.
Lose the logo. Wait.
Okay.
We're back. We're back.
Yeah,
I told you it would go away.
Wasted time here.
So they meet up with Edie. She's all looking incognito and stuff, glasses, hat.
Is she though? She stands out more than anyone.
I know. She's the only one that looks like that.
I know. She looks like Carmen Sandiego.
I was gonna say that too. She looked like an all black Carmen Sandiego. Like, what are you doing? You look obvious.
Yeah, she definitely stood out. Everybody's having fun at a whole club little place, and she just looks all dark and mysterious. Like,
I think they did that on purpose, so it would look that obnoxious and obvious.
Because they were like, "Oh, there she is. How do you know? Come the fuck on."
The only one in a trench coat and hat and glasses.
I don't know. She's out here looking like Deep Throat. Like, come on now.
So she's like, "Come with me, follow me," and she goes through this back door or whatever. And because they were talking about something on the way over to that back thing, talking about, oh man, where did you get something? I think they're talking about the phone. Yeah, be quiet. So, anyways, she takes him to the back, and she's like, "Oh, you made a mistake," or something like that. They bopped him on the back.
Kidnapped.
Oh yeah, they get kidnapped. They get bopped on the back of the head, and they wake up in this.
And she splashes them with the water in the face to wake them up, and they already tied up.
Yeah.
And that's a fear of mine for sure.
And then a guy with a weird mask comes in.
Yeah, that fucking, what's it called?
Did you call me a congressman?
Yeah, and so now they know he's a congressman or whatever. He's like, "Shh, don't call me a congressman."
Never says his name, and then she says his name. She's like, "Shut up, Brett. It's fine. Take off your mask, Brett." I was like, "Oh."
Well, she's already exposed.
Well, she clearly had no problem being exposed.
Well, I think they're going to end up killing them.
But this
they wouldn't have said anything.
This is clearly a movie. And everyone in this movie should be aware that they're in a movie.
Yeah. But anyways, to continue, they're in like this, looks like a barn or a kind of like cabin. Because it's got a whole little kitchen in it, like a barn, like it's like a cabin, in a barn or something.
It looked more like a hot plate than it was a full kitchen.
Yeah, it didn't look like a full.
It looked like it was a little.
It looked like a sink thing with a little. Yeah, it didn't look like a real stove.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So anyway, they're like talking about how they suspect that they know something or whatever. Like who gave you that?
Pictures.
Huh?
She keeps talking about pictures. Where's
Where's pictures? Where's pictures and stuff like that?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, of course they don't know what they're talking about. So they're like, we really don't know what you're talking about. We don't have any pictures or anything. And he starts overdoing it, I guess, with the fake crying. And she's like, they're not buying it. I was like, why would you say they're not buying it?
Yeah.
Like now it looks like we're lying. Like, shut up.
I know. They talk a lot throughout the whole movie. But they belong together. They're both ramblers.
They're terrible. Yeah, absolutely terrible.
And so that's anyways, like, since they wouldn't tell the truth or whatever, that's when she's over there cooking bacon up.
Bacon looks so good, man.
I know.
That bacon looks so good. I wanted some bacon when I was watching it. I was like, just chill.
I wish I could reach through the TV and just grab a piece.
Then she was like,
it looked crispy too.
Oh, yeah, it looks so good.
Yeah, damn.
But yeah, because then she's like, basically, okay, look, if you're not gonna talk, I'm gonna pour grease on you.
Oh, she said no. You can have this hot grease poured on you, or what's behind door number 1.
And she was like, what's her name? Leilani is like, take the door because you don't, or take the grease because you don't know what's behind the door. It could be anything.
Right.
Like, yeah, but I don't want to get grease to my face. And she was like,
yes, but she's like, that's what they're gonna know, and they're gonna think that you think what behind number 1 is worse than the grease when it's actually probably I think it's worse, and you're gonna take the grease, but it's not as bad and all that stuff.
I got a question for you guys. Which would you have chosen in that
moment?
moment?
Now that I know what it is.
Well, the fact is,
the door.
And I probably would have.
I'm saying before knowing what the door was.
Before knowing, it's hard.
I probably still would have taken the door.
I probably have to take the door because I know grease is like, God, this is like cooking me alive.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want to be burnt alive. That's a fear of mine. Like, the only thing that could be worse than behind that door is me getting eaten alive. So either way, I'm screwed. I'm gonna take my chances with the door.
Yeah, I guess so.
I haven't heard
you already know what's bad,
or a chainsaw or anything behind that door. I literally heard nothing. I'm gonna take my chances with the door.
I like how when he chooses the door or whatever, and they open it. He thought the first thing I thought, because it was showing the backside of a horse,
right?
And he was like, "He said, is he gonna?" That's the exact same thing I thought. I was like, "That's disgusting," but I guess I take it.
I watched that movie. I said the same thing. I was like, you know what? I would rather take that than having grease poured on me. It sounds bad, but I can shower the shit away. Those grease birds are forever, bro. Like,
but no, what happens is that horse ends up kicking him in his chest.
Oh, God dang.
And he ends up falling to the floor.
What are you guys is echoing? I think it's you, Jana.
Is me?
Yeah, I think so. When you talk, there's an echo coming through.
Yeah, I hear it.
You hear it? Your own echo?
Yeah, I hear it. It sounds like kind of muffled.
I don't know if an echo can be muffled.
Am I just? It can.
It is you, Jada. When you talk, it's coming through.
What'd you do?
Great, Mom, you messed me up now.
I love the dysfunction of this family.
Oh my God!
Is it louder compared to
me?
Is it louder? No, it's right on par.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever. Can you still understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. We're gonna power through it.
And guess what? I don't even hear the echo.
Look, like I said, we're gonna just have to power through it because whatever.
Well, all right, let's get back to it. The horse kicks him in the chest. He falls to the ground in the chair or whatever. And he's looking at Leilani, and he was like, take the grease.
Man, he tells her to take the grease. And she's like, I'm gonna take the grease.
That was so funny because
luckily that horse kicked him hard enough that he was able to break free, and then they get to fighting him, and he does the 1, 2, 3 thing, and she runs, and he was like, "Yo, what the fuck?" Because we forgot to mention that they do that earlier, where he does he says he tells her on 3, and she doesn't tell her what the plan is, which is dumb. But then they run.
I would have knew immediately. I would have ran. I would have been like, 1, 2.
So he does it again. He goes, okay, on 3. And on 3, he's getting ready to attack, and she breaks out. And he's like, yo, why did you run? He was like, because that's what we did last time.
Oh my gosh.
That's
when they go to the store, that drugstore or whatever, and get some
clothes.
A change of clothes.
And they have another little tender moment.
Yes, of course. You know, tragic event, or what was it that Keanu
Nothing brings you closer than fucking near death experience?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, kind of like that.
It's true though. You be holding on tight to whoever you go through things with.
And Jabron had found that paper that had that Edie had, which had an address on it, which they assumed was the bike guy's address, which I guess it was.
It turned out to be,
yeah. So because they wanted to try to find the pictures to see what is this about. Now they know that this obviously got something to do with these pictures. So so then they go over to the address, and this is when they're trying to get in, like opening it, like, okay, it's one of those, you got to get access, or somebody's got to give you access into the building.
They still have those, man. That's crazy.
And then they're like, oh yeah, all over. I mean, like that's in Chicago, all over. That's a have to.
Well, I mean, that makes sense.
Well, they're in buildings. Like we have apartments out here that are outer. A lot of them outer. I don't know how to.
I don't know what that.
It's like LA. They have places like that.
They have buildings where it's
Hollywood
inside to get to front doors. Whereas here, most apartments, your doors are on the outside of the building. They're not.
Yeah, I get what you say. I get what you're saying.
Yeah. Mister, I know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so they use her to to use her shoe and kick the door.
He called it
the ice pick.
Oh, the ice
pick of her heel. She's like,
the heel? My heel. She's like, that's not how that works. And he's like, yeah, it does. Talking about, she's like, where did you learn that? Mythbusters. Mm-hmm. And then she's like, okay. She's like, what do you say? It has to be at a certain angle or some crap.
Yeah. But then she couldn't do it. She kicks it, and her other heel breaks. And he was like, oh, that's right. That myth was busted.
They busted that.
And so they go up the little. She calls it the catwalk.
They got the fire escape. Yeah. The catwalk.
The catwalk. He was like, you mean the fire escape?
They do call it that too.
It's a fire escape.
Yeah. So they go up there at the window, and then she told him? What did she tell him? Because then
she told him to break it, because he was like, you'd use your shoe. He was like, I already did. I broke a heel. He was like, well, I mean, technically you didn't break the one that you kicked with, but whatever. That's a freak accident. But he starts punching it or whatever. Well, okay, I'm pulling back so I don't cut my hand, which is smart. You're not supposed to go through.
But does that work?
Well, yeah, I would have just grabbed my shirt or whatever.
But see, the thing was, he wasn't, and that's what he should have done. But the thing is, he wasn't hitting it with any force. You're supposed to hit it and pull back. You don't want to hit it and follow through.
Yeah, he was just kind of like,
hand. Yeah.
He was already pulling back before he barely touched it.
Yeah, because once again, the movies make it seem like, you just punch a window and it just shatters in a million pieces. But that's not how windows work. You know what I mean? It's glass. We're talking about legitimate glass.
No, and more times than not, you're gonna be the stupid one, and you punch it and go straight through and cut yourself all up.
Even think about it that way, right? When you punch glass in, everything is coming in. When you try to pull out, you're not gonna be able to do it the same way because you're not coming with the same kind of force.
Yeah.
I am not doing it.
And then it wasn't working, and then she started. That's when she
grabbed her heel that was still intact.
They start making beats and stuff. I don't know.
I know they were both. He's like boom, and she's like.
He reminded me of that Undercover Brother when he was doing that thing.
Oh yeah.
That is black people though.
I mean, in a nutshell.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm black people.
Then it breaks.
Breaking this thing. It turns out they're in the house. There's a bunch of frat dudes there with a bunch of names and photos and stuff. So they're like, oh, these are the photos that crazy hit girl must have been talking about.
Right.
But listen, keep in mind, none of these frat guys even realize they're there because they got loud music
up. And this dude's talking about the last time he raped somebody, I guess. I don't know, man. Like,
it sounds really broy.
Yeah, he said, "This is roofie." What did he say? Roofie row or something like that.
I don't know, but he's not wrong. I don't trust frat dudes, man. I just don't.
They just look like a good kind.
That's when he used the term F boys, and she's like, "What?"
Did I use that right?
Did I use that right?
Like, no.
She's like, "No."
There's a bunch of fuck boys out there. He was like, "Did I use that right?" She's like, "No." You didn't. But I mean, I also don't understand it either. So fair enough.
And then when that one guy finally comes in there and he's like, "Hey," and he's looking at him, "Hey, what you doing?" And then he's like,
"Us, man. It's me and her."
Trying to act like they know him.
Then they just start fighting. And this fight scene lasts too long for me. Because he starts tapping and he's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "You can't tap out. It's not the UFC." And then they do this weak interrogation. She's slapping him around for no reason. They're not even asking any real questions. He's just like,
well, they did ask him like who he works for, and he explains that they work for the guy on the bicycle.
It took a minute to get there because they were
it took a while to get there.
They were kind of just repeating what he said. They were like, "What are you here for?" He's like, "Why do you think we're here?" Like, come on, man. What are you doing, bro?
And then at that moment, finally they get that information out of him, and then that's when the dude comes, the mustache dude.
Well, yeah, while they're interrogating him, mustache dude comes.
The
you
cop,
see him
bad
in
cop
there
guy.
killing, doing all the other dudes in there, and they didn't even know it.
Yeah, he was murking them. He's flipping them around, shooting them and stuff like that. They're not even noticing. And then he runs out there and he's like, "Oh, hey guy, pop, pop, pop," and then he's dead. He's like, "Oh my god, you got to know who you're working for, man."
So they
Well,
immediately
they weren't working for him. They were
They
working
knew
for
him
bicycle
though.
dude.
Clearly, they knew him because the dude,
Well, yeah, they did know.
the mustache dude, called him by his name. He was like, "Hey, Steve." Pop, pop, pop.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he called him by his
He did.
Oh, I missed that.
While you sat in front of it, but yeah.
You got to stop. You blink too much. You miss everything.
Oh, we had JJ. So
yeah.
But
True.
yeah, so they hide. We just find out. He says something like, "Yeah, he's quo mortem," and then they leave, and then he's like, "Oh, somebody was in the closet," because they didn't close the closet when they left.
Shit, who had time for that? She was trying to steal some shoes because she didn't have no shoes.
That's one-on-one stuff. I'm sorry, that's one-on-one stuff. I'm closing that closet.
I ain't got time to look out the door. I'm staying in the direction I'm going. That's a turn back. No.
You don't have to turn back because while she was getting the shoes, he could have just been like,
"Nah."
That's it.
I would have done it. I would have turned it out because the music was still going. There was nothing.
He went in there to get some snacks, realize what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, they get back on. They're on this bus.
Trolley. The trolley.
It's a trolley. Yeah, you're right. It is a trolley.
Yeah.
Because they're in New Orleans. Like, forget about that.
And then
it's really important anyway. It doesn't like ever come to anything, so it doesn't. So I didn't remember where it was.
Yeah.
She mentioned it once when she talked about it's the restaurant capital of the world.
Yeah.
And then when they go to get clothes, she has like they both have clearly New Orleans. Well, he definitely has a short shirt that's like New Orleans themed for sure. And other than that, yeah, it doesn't really like come up a whole lot.
Yeah.
So then
they open up that envelope.
It's just pictures they don't know what to do with.
Right.
It's pictures. Well, it shows pictures of people and they have masks on, like the congressman when he walked in.
Yeah.
When they were being tortured or threatened or whatever, and so they're looking at this phone and he can't unlock it, and she mentions the name. She's like, "I know who can unlock it," and he's like, "Who?" And she's like, obviously hesitant. And she says, "Keith." And it's that same guy.
She does that thing that women do when they're trying to get under your skin. But it's true.
Well, because she knows he has an issue.
But she specifically calls him a genius. And it's like, you didn't have to say all that shit. You could have just been like, he's the IT guy.
Well,
he knows how to get in the phone.
I think she said that to convince him. It's like, dude,
it's not going to convince him. He doesn't like him.
Yeah.
I know.
It was too much of a compliment.
Wasn't the right word.
And that's what it is. It's too much of a compliment.
It was too much. Yeah.
And he knows he feels based on, and he says that he was like, because she asked him, "What's your problem with Keith?" He was like, "I don't like the way he looks at you." And then she was like, "Well,
he doesn't look at me anyway."
Like, okay.
Well, I don't like the way you look at him.
I don't like the way you look at him. And she had no answer to that because she knew exactly what she was talking about.
Right.
That's the thing, and that's like, and it goes both ways because people know, like, when it's like, oh, somebody kind of like, that you both don't have any real affiliation with. So
right.
You know what I mean? Because she works with him and he only knows about him because of they work and stuff
like
that. But like I've seen the way this dude, like, this dude want a piece. You know what I mean? So it's like, and then it's like, oh no, it's not like that. It's like it is.
Yeah.
You gotta listen sometimes,
But he decided to go ahead with it. And so they go show up at the dinner party that they were supposed to show up to in the first place.
With wine.
With
wine.
And then they look crazy. They looking at them in their outfits, and they were like,
and he's all busted up too.
They're like, you're like, you're bleeding. What's going on? And they were like,
of course,
we went boxing. We were boxing. We've been taking up boxing or something. They're like,
I'm what's known as a bleeder.
Like, you went to boxing on the way, or they're like, yeah. And she's like, Javon is really good.
No, he was like, it was like they said I could never. He said they said I can never go professional
because I'm a bleeder or something.
I'm a bleeder and I bleed too much.
When
he started faking this brain injury, he's like, I can't remember my phone's passcode.
Oh yeah, because then she's like, you guys want to see a video of him getting knocked out? And they all were like, yeah.
Which is like, oh. I'd have been real mad if somebody was like, you want to see a video of Tracy getting knocked out, and everybody in the room was just like, fuck yeah. And I'm like,
that happens a lot. It's
every like one of you guys right here. I know where you stand. I know where you stand.
Or when mom be saying, she was like, oh, look at this video, and then be like, hold on, I can't find it.
Wait, this way, hold on, I just had it. Hold on.
You don't have something cool to show us.
You don't have something cool. But no, but basically this was the plan. So he starts doing the freak out thing, like, oh, I'm having a concussion and brain injuries, and Keith was like, don't worry, man, I got it.
Yeah.
He was like, of course you do, Keith, man. Fuck you, Keith.
And then there's separate conversations taking place. Her with the one girl,
her friend,
where she's thinking her life with her man is all perfect and all this, and she's like, no, like
we argue all the time.
You guys have this amazing sex life and freaky and all this. She's like, no. She's like, but you're always taking those pictures and posting them with you guys in the bed.
Like, my exes follow me.
Well, my exes follow me. I'm just trying to make them jealous.
Gross. Ladies, stop doing that shit.
That's weird.
That is weird. But you know it's a thing.
Because even then it's like, unless your man knows that and is okay with it, which is also weird, it's like, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you trying to make your exes jealous?
It's freaky people these days.
This generation is weird, and I'll never be able to get with like the weird shit that they're into.
Man,
you know what I mean? And I'm part of it, and I still don't understand it. Like, I don't get it.
We're in the same boat.
I keep saying, like, my new term is millennials are the worst.
It's like, and I'm a millennial, and I don't get it.
It's like, what is the world?
Like, I understand.
The ones after them.
I will say though, the best thing about millennials over any generation is that we never gave up the shit we loved when we were kids, and we are the fucking best for it.
What do you mean?
Like, okay, so you know how there's like an age where you kind of just like grow out of like watching certain things.
Okay.
Our generation said, fuck all that shit. We just kept going.
The comic books,
watching
I kept watching Power Rangers until it just got boring to me. Not because I was too old for it, but because it was just like, nah, I'm cool.
Yeah. And truly, you make a good point, because, and also have been able to make lives out of it. And people got making money off of this stuff.
Streaming games is a thing because
our
generation was just like,
absolutely. I will.
It's true. The older generation, you guys do play games.
But for people in general, and how people lifestyle and how they live, Lord, I'm just, y'all is not y'all, but y'all.
She meant what
she
said.
Woo,
she meant it.
She said it with a whole chest.
I know, y'all.
Anyway, so yeah, Keith gets them in the phone.
I just put I hate Keith in my notes.
Hey, Keith just seems like a good guy, okay? Everybody repeats lines from movies or
series. He legitimately is, but I hate Keith.
I like Keith. Because he seems like a cool guy.
No,
he can hack a phone.
He also leaves the pictures.
Yeah, but what I was saying, the reason I hate Keith is before this, he is giving old girl the bedroom eyes and the haze right in front of her man. Stronger man.
But he did give him the props when he said something about, because she's always talking to me. He's like, what? She talks about me?
She's like, yeah, she brags about you, about how good you're doing with your work. I was like, so why is she going out of her way to insult this man's work when she tells everybody how great his work is?
Because she's mad.
Look, I mean, y'all got to get your shit together, right? Men are simple. We're simpler than that. Like, that's the thing.
That claim that men are simple is true. Let's say simpleton at times.
Simple mindset.
Complex to deal with.
I don't understand how those two things are like
different.
Coincide. What are you talking about? I am the easiest person to get along with. Very easy. Very easy.
We're gonna act like you didn't just say that, okay? We're just
act like it all you want. It was said, and I said it.
Anyway, So anyway, Leilani gives the pictures to her friend and told her, what she say? Hold on to these. There's some there's, and she's like, she's trying to make it seem like it's some freaky stuff, but don't look at it. Oh, she said, that's what she said they were, because they were breaking up. She said, yeah, there's some D pics or something.
I just said that. I just said it. I knew you didn't want to say it, so I said it. They're dick pics.
And then she's like, and so she's like, but don't open it. Don't open it.
Ooh, Senator Burrows. Oh, that's what he call. That's what I call it.
That's what I call it.
He'd be burrowing in there. I was like, oh my God. That is enough. That is
so terrible. So then she's like, and then you remember he said the whole thing about he had to go to the doctor because he's having brain issues. So he's like, but he's at some kind of fancy event. So can we get a change of clothes or whatever? So they get all
fancy clothes, yeah.
Yeah. So they get all fancied up and they go to this place where all these people are going, and that phone, that little symbol that came up.
Well, we have another moment on the way to the car where he's stressed out and they start singing fireworks, and it's a cute moment, man. I really enjoyed it.
Even the Uber driver girl starts singing it.
Of course she is.
Katy Perry.
I hate this song so much, but I would sing it.
But I like that moment. You know it.
Me and Daniel were singing this at the top of our lungs in Vegas just because it was on. Like, what? It's that kind of song.
It's that song. You don't like it, but as soon as it's on, you can't help singing it. It's annoying. I know.
It's got all the cues. Like, what do you want me?
It got all the funk that Cisco missed.
It's building up.
It's got all that. It's got every karaoke cue you need, so you have no choice.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Just like I got a feeling.
It sucks you in.
Oh, I'm sorry. I can't get with that.
I don't like that song either, but I still, every time I hear it, I'm just like, I got
it. Up like 17 times in that song, and I can't get with that shit. It's not even creative.
But you can't help
but it's catchy.
I sing it the way they did on the Cleveland show, where he was just like, blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Because it's the same. You're not missing anything. It's the exact same thing.
All right, so now they get there. He's in a better space because she cheered him up with that Katy Perry song.
And they get to this Eyes Wide Shut party.
Well, they asked for the phone. They were like, we asked for the phone.
I must have blinked because where did they get those masks that they had?
They got them at
when they got in there.
They got in there. They were given to them.
Oh, okay. But theirs were like different.
Which doesn't that kind of defeat the purpose? Or am I tripping?
Well, maybe the admin have to know.
The person was like, all right, I see your face, here's these masks. You know what I mean? Like, if is the anonymity important? Or is it
but there are people who work there are part of it, so maybe they get to know.
But even at that part, because when they came through, all the people were talking to everybody and networking like they know each other. So it's like, I don't understand what's happening here. I don't get it.
But they
just some weird culty stuff.
And if you know somebody, obviously you do recognize them because they could see it was Edie.
Through the mask, it wasn't.
But I like how they pointed that out, like that they recognized that was them. And they're like, what if they see us?
What if they recognize us? Yeah. Because in movies, a lot of times they like to make it seem like you put on a mask and that's going to kill it. But it's like, dude, you are black. And you can tell he's a person of color. They got the same hair. They gonna know.
And that's the great. You know what movie does that the best though? Even though it's a terrible movie, Green Lantern. Because he goes to old girl and she was like, how? He was like, how'd you know it was me? He was like, I don't know who the fuck you are because you hide your cheekbones. Like, what the fuck? Like, you idiot.
Yeah, if I saw you like you had like an eye mask over you, I'd be like,
now. If you meet someone, and this is relevant to today, if you meet someone with a mask on, and I'm saying this because when I started work,
the answer is no.
We all started with masks. So it's like so sometimes some people end up working at home. So we have our morning brief and it's on Zoom, and then you'll see them. And it's so funny because a lot of people will be like, damn, I didn't know they look like that.
That's what you look like under there?
Ugly.
I've been so surprised at the other half of people's faces.
Yo, that's how I'd be like, I'm not taking mine off at work ever because I don't want nobody to be like, this nigga
the
ugly
one
as
girl,
fuck.
I just see her pulling the same thing back when she drinks. So I'm like, wow, I really didn't.
I didn't see that. I didn't see that coming. Did anybody else see that? No, I didn't see that.
So it's definitely different if you don't see a whole thing.
No, for real, it is different. It is different
But
because
don't you wonder what you look like to people? Like, what if you look all crazy when you take your bath?
Right? That's what I wonder. I'm like, what do people think I look like when they see me? You know, like, oh shoot, that's what
Look, I
you
got pretty eyes, so like when people just probably
like, I'm a decent human being from the eyes up. So I mean, you take that mask off, like, oh wait, I didn't see that coming.
people see your nose now, what your nose looks like.
Everything comes together and it doesn't look so good.
I say, damn, she got a big ass gap in her teeth. Oh my gosh, yeah. So no, but if you know somebody already,
yeah,
you ain't gonna be able to hide that. So they
like, I can see your face, buddy.
I
know you. I know what you look like. I know what you look like. You're only covering your eyeballs.
But moving forward from the mask, everybody's all of a sudden, suddenly, there's no announcement or nothing. Everybody just suddenly starts walking towards the back part.
That means it's back.
Wow. So they start walking towards the back part, and they're just like, "Whoa, where's everybody going?" And it turns out to be this big theater, and so they're the last ones in because they want us to sit around and be like, "What the hell's going on?" And they're like walking to go into these seats that are right in the middle, and they're like, "Excuse me, sorry," making all kinds of noise, and it's dead silence in the theater, and they're the only ones making noise. And all of a sudden, they finally sit down, and they're still bickering. They're like, "Shh," and you see these
oh yeah,
you see these two dudes in red
clothes.
clothes.
They come out on the stage.
Yeah, they come out on the stage and
robes.
Yeah, and everybody was chanting something or whatever. What are they saying?
I don't know. I couldn't catch it. It was stupid though.
And it was funny.
At one point, they chant something else, and he goes, "Where's the beef?" And she says something else. They're just doing catchphrases. I forgot which one it was. He says, "Where's the beef?" And it was so stupid. But yeah, these dudes in the red robes come out and they start playing bingo.
Yeah. Like, are they playing bingo? He's like, I love bingo.
Yeah, they start playing bingo and they're picking numbers, and all the people get to come down, get to have their eyes wide shut party. That's what's happening, and she's into it. And she's
like, is this happening? What I think is? Oh yes,
she's into it, and I have to say that would be like, I wouldn't say concerning, but if you found out for the first time that this is something like your girl was into, like, what?
Yeah, it quickly got weird and freaky, and then all of a sudden,
any more numbers.
I thought one of them was going to get called.
That's what I assumed was going to happen. But they got me with that.
You think getting called is a good thing? She's like, no, I don't think we want to get called.
But then in the middle of when people are on stage on that round bed doing weird, swinger freaky stuff.
I like that they didn't have to show so much to get the idea across to us.
Yeah, just enough. Just enough.
Yeah, I like that. It was cool to say, I see they're doing freaky shit, but we don't gotta actually see this. So
yeah, I saw Eyes Wide Shut, and
that was too much.
They didn't think we understood.
I didn't see it. I didn't see
anything. It's a terrible movie.
But then all of a sudden, there's like some alarm goes off, and they're like,
No. Before that, the guys in the cloaks, they say stop, and they're like, everybody, off the stage, whatever. Whoever was doing freaky stuff,
said, get out.
And they wanted to. Yeah,
she was like, I love that they respected the no.
That they respected the stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, to stop.
But I was thinking that too. I was just like, huh.
She's really
respectful.
But yeah, so basically they're like, oh, we have an imposter. They use.
Oh yeah, they said we had to. Well, first they tell that they had to basically have the dude killed.
Yeah, they quo morted him. Mortem. Quote mortem.
Yeah, some weird stuff. And then all of a sudden, And they were like,
no, they were like, everybody take off your mask when we count
they
to
did that,
3.
They said that his bar was scanned, and that's how they knew there was an imposter.
Yeah.
And so there's like, everybody take off. I knew, you know what? I knew that. I was thinking right then they shouldn't take their mask off, because I was thinking that.
You know what bothers me the most about it, because I would have been the last one to do it. If we're gonna take our mask off, I'm waiting to see what everybody else does. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
They were like, all right, let's go. Fuck. He was like, yep, only a real member knows to never take your mask off.
Exactly.
Get them.
No, I saw that coming.
Before they can get him, though, that's when those alarms go off, and they all of the people just rush out of there, and they quickly evacuate.
And then the police come in,
and they're still sitting there.
Drawn.
They were just chilling. I probably would have been chilling too. Like, okay,
yeah, what you gonna do?
Nothing.
I wouldn't. Some people was about to kill you, so I wasn't gonna go with them.
Exactly. I'd rather have a chance to run out whatever comes out after this.
And then at that point, I thought they were being arrested.
Well, they did get arrested.
No, it's the other one. Oh. the other child. I'm trying to tell her to turn the light off.
Oh, it's my daughter in love. Don't be mean to her.
No, she's amazing. She just got back from the gym doing gym stuff.
Hey.
Won't make me jealous. But anyway.
Okay.
So I thought they were being arrested. And when
I thought they were too.
They're picked up by the police, and then they get to the police station. They got them in the little room, interrogation room. And this is when they have their moment.
That's when, before the police came in, they're just sitting in there. She's like, I got to talk to you about something. And they start having a little heart-to-heart moment and stuff like that. And you see them trying to connect with one each other. And then you see the police on the outside of that glass or whatever. And they're like, oh,
it's kind of jacked up. It's hard when breaking up is hard or something.
He was like, man, they broke up. Yeah. But yeah, so anyway, she comes in and they're like, she was like, I've been looking all over for you. And they're like, we didn't do the murder. She was like, yeah, I know.
We were trying to protect you. We were trying
to keep you guys safe this whole time.
To make sure you were safe. And then they start that thing.
Oh, they start to rip. He tells them that she tells them that she used to sell edibles
for her uncle, and he said it was legal in Amsterdam, but
we weren't in Amsterdam. Yeah, she would just sell edibles.
And I'm like, I never killed anybody. Well, I mean, I might say I want to kill somebody, but I would never kill anybody. You know, I was like, I want to strangle you, but I don't really mean it. You know,
he said I rolled through every stop sign,
but I never hit anybody.
Shut up!
They just kept going on. It's like, God, stop. So anyway, they tell them, you know, you've been through a lot, so just go home and get you some rest, and we'll take your statements tomorrow. We'll get somebody to drop you off, and they'll, you know, make sure everything's safe for you, blah, blah, blah. And they leave. They get in the car. You know, the police officer gets them in the car, and they're driving. Now, I wonder why they didn't notice they wasn't going their route home. But anyway.
Because they were too busy Googling each other's eyes.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. They going on. And then, what did he say? How did they know?
Oh, what happened?
He basically was just like, oh, no, I'm not taking you home. And they were like, oh, it's you. How did you get this car? He was like, I'm a cop. I'm kind of a big deal. Which is funny because
he said, I told you I was a cop.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of a big deal around here.
He said it's good money getting paid from the state and the badge.
So he said he wasn't getting.
You know how much I get paid from the state? In other words, you don't get paid that much. Because they were like, why would you do this? And he's like, you know, because they pay me well, and you know how much money I don't get paid by the state, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And he's going on and on. He starts confessing all kinds of stuff to them.
Talking about the woman that he loved. What was her name?
Siobhan.
And that's the only person he ever loved.
You don't get to say Siobhan.
He was like, yeah, why would you say Siobhan? You don't say it either. I was like, you're not even going to say that person. But yeah, basically he's going to do the old setup. He ties them up, tells them that he's going to kill them. Goes and get the killing field ready. And
he tells them he's going to tell them that somebody came to kill them and he tried to help them, but he got shot in the process, and then they killed them.
Blah, blah,
blah. So then he goes to prepare the boat or whatever the heck it was. And when he does that,
before they go to the boat, they get out by her freaking mouthing his little cigarette lighter in his car, which is weird. Was that? Oh, it was an older car, kind of, huh?
Well, most like police cars are Crown Vic, so they're gonna have that.
Yeah, they got the but they have the zip ties, and so that's why he was like, "Oh, the cigarette lighter," and because they had a whole conversation before about why the cigarette lighter is in the car.
You know what? That is kind of smart that they kind of have this thing, because a lot of movies do it and it never amounts to anything, where they have like little things that they talk about that never come back.
Yeah,
like for him, it's the cigarette lighter because he mentions it, and now we're seeing. He was like, "That's why they're in here," and it's funny.
Yeah, yeah. And then when she gets her with her tongue, I was like, "Ew!"
I know.
I was with him on that one.
God, shut up. Anyway,
but they burn the wear out of the zip ties or whatever. And he's coming, and they're like, he's coming, put it back or whatever.
No, wait. I gotta say this before they got tied up. When he was like coming there, he's like, turn around and whatever, and because he was gonna put the zip ties on, and he's like, if you touch her, I will kick your ass. And then he's like, turn around.
He's like, yes, sir.
He said it like he meant, I will kick.
Hey, he still did mean it though.
He did.
He still meant it.
But he was also frightened as hell.
I mean, but you also see, and that's the thing, because this is once again, it's still, even though it's a movie, they're not movie characters. They're real characters inside of a movie. So of course he's not gonna sit there and like argue with the guy right here. He's got a gun. you gotta plan your spots and just be smarter.
I'd probably be a little bit of action. Okay, all right, cool. Oh, I'm turning around.
He takes him down to the boat, tells him everything, the play-by-play of how it's gonna go down.
Right, of course.
They're just like, forget it, man. Let's jump them.
Well, finally, this is when they finally act together. They count to 3 and they finally know the drill.
Even still, though, this is the first time it works.
Right.
Because they're doing the thing. He's like, I can snap his neck right here. And
she said, no, you can't. It's too thick. And he's like, well, I can just keep turning until something happens.
But that's the thing. So he does it. He goes 1, 2, 3. He ducks. She shoots him. And she says that. She was like, I knew you were going to do that 1, 2, 3 thing. But she had no idea he was going to do it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, I knew that you were going to. I just didn't know when. I didn't know what was going to happen, but I was ready for it. So it's like, yes, smart on her part. But yeah, I don't know if I'm letting somebody. I'm not taking that risk.
I mean, you had to. Otherwise, it could have gotten.
I mean, I always feel like if it's kill or kill, I'm gonna take my chances with trying to survive it. So I'm not gonna let him snap my neck.
True.
But then he comes back up like Jaws. Knock him back out again. With the floaty thing, like he would have been up again. Like, come on now.
Stop. So the police come and all that stuff, and they said they have him apprehended, and then they're over there, doing that whole thing again, and they're kind of
the kissy face.
They go through that whole thing, and then the guy, the ambulance, he's like, we have to take you to the hospital, to get checked out. It's what's the word? It's a procedure or whatever. Yeah, protocol. So they're like, okay, and then they're like, back of an ambulance sex, huh?
I'm down for that.
He's like, you gonna try some of those moves? And he was like, yeah, watch me.
I'm gonna put in work. She was like, you can't.
I'm gonna put in work. And then they skip up to how much? A year later?
It's a year later, and they're running. They're running for their lives.
When it turns out they're doing the Amazing Race, and they're like winning, and then they get to this point.
Well, they said they lost time because they were arguing about the metric system.
But then they were up there, and she's like, "Oh, okay, we got to do this." And then they start reading this whole thing, and then whatever it was, it comes to, and it's a horse.
And they're like, "Oh no!"
Kill the horse's ass.
And
like, oh no! Yeah, take one for the team, dude. I thought that was good. I like the ending too. I like
how they came back to the Amazing
Race. Was a cool full circle thing.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it for sure.
I did. Yeah. So
you guys, hold on. There we
A
go.
little long.
I mean, they're all
No,
kind of
it's
like
a
that. I
little
can't
long.
trim it. I don't know what to do. Get off my back,
You
woman.
can reduce it.
I'll try. I'll try to do another one later. But all right. So who wants
Anyway,
to go
we're
first?
not talking shop on here. No.
Who wants to
Anyway,
go first? Who wants to give
okay,
their
I'll
final
go
thoughts
first.
first?
I will go first. I will say, on an overall basis, I really like this movie. I mean, it had enough of what I needed to. It's a comedy. It's romantic, and I actually believe them. I like their chemistry, in the movie. So I love that. And I thought they were both funny, hilarious, actually. And then some of the situations were just ridiculous, but still funny, even though it was over the top and it's something that could never happen. But it was great. So I really overall love this movie. And I did like that there was continuity. They mentioned things earlier and things came back so you could put things together. I thought it was a good movie.
All right, Jada.
So I liked it. I liked it a lot. I don't know what score I gave the last two movies we watched, but I'm gonna give this one.
You didn't have
Sure.
to yet.
Huh?
Just say what you think.
I'm gonna say what I think. Give me a second.
No scores.
Let it go.
I'm gonna score it anyway. I'm giving it an 8.5 because I actually enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. Because the previous kind of looked all dumb, but it was actually turned out to be funnier than I expected, being even ridiculously outrageous as it was. So, funny movie. I would recommend it just to watch because it's just a fun movie.
All right, and I would also give this. I give this movie an 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed this one. I was with you, John. Like when I saw the preview, I was like, "This kind of looks dumb," but it is dumb. But in like
dumb in the right way,
but in the best way possible. Yeah. Like it acknowledges how dumb it is throughout the entire movie, and that's like part of the best part. And you're right, Mom. You're right. The chemistry is great. They work really well together. Especially the bantering is like really funny between the two of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is one of those. Even though, this movie isn't even like classified as a romantic comedy.
No.
It's classified as an action adventure. When I looked it up.
Wow.
So you felt that wrong, but it's all good.
No, that was good.
Yeah, this was a good movie. I appreciate.
Okay, well, I'll say I'm giving it an 8. That was my score too. I'm like, I really I enjoyed it. It was a contrast from the movie to just like Hitch. Like ugh. I wished I didn't have to watch it again. The Family Wedding we had seen before, and it was like I could live through it. It wasn't bad. It wasn't horrible. It wasn't great. Anyway, but this one was good. Yeah. So what's on tap, Mister?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh no, it's you.
This is John, what are we doing?
Oh, so my movie's gonna be Clueless. I mean, not Clueless. Sorry. I'm drawing a blank right
now. You need a little help. You need a little help.
Yeah.
Is it Guess Who?
Yeah.
Guess Who?
That's the one. Guess Who with
Guess Who?
Bernie Mac,
okay.
Zoe Saldana.
This is our first white person.
And Ashton Kutcher for some reason. They were still letting him in movies.
Yeah.
Well, I love Bernie Mac, so I'm looking forward to watching it again because he's hilarious.
Yeah.
He is indeed hilarious.
Indeed. Yeah. All right. We did good.
Okay, did we come up with an outro?
Has anybody been coming up with one? Because I've been doing all the work here.
What?
Family Reelz. I don't know.
And on that note,
we are family.
No.
We're out of here.
Later. See you next time with the fans. All right, we're out.